I want to welcome you to I Feel Like Talking podcast with your host, myself, Damon. And I have an honor and privilege to have a special guest with us today. He's one of the originators of Gospel Go-Go, but not only that, one of the members of a band called Joshua Generation, and that is Shay. How are you today?
I'm doing great. Excited to be here, and I'm definitely glad for the invitation. And when my niece reached out and said you was interested, I was like, oh, definitely. So definitely glad to be here, and glad to share the story.
I appreciate it. And just a little small fact, not only she your niece, she my niece now, because
Exactly.
she married my nephew. So
Right.
that's been great. So thank you so much for being here. So I want to start with some questions, then we can go from there. So the first question is, before we get to the past, before we get to anything like that, tell me about what you're doing right now in life.
Well, in life for me, I'm at the Shepherd's House with my
Mm-hmm.
pastor, Pastor Kevin Matthews, and First Lady Melissa Matthews.
Okay.
And there I serve with the water baptism ministry, and teaching and so forth, and helping minister the water baptism service and so forth. Um, I got two amazing sons. My oldest is in the workforce. My youngest is in college. Time with them, coaching and getting them where they need to be. My youngest son is a junior. Be glad when he graduate. He's majoring in computer science and A&B student. Very proud of him. Keep
Very
doing
good.
what he's doing, and
Yes.
and when it's over with, I'll be really happy.
I understand. My daughter just started Townsend this year,
Okay.
university. But we're excited for her, and the same thing. She's doing a great job. So that's always good to have fathers having our our kids in college and getting them through, and then like, okay, after these 4 years, now you need to do something with your life.
Definitely.
Do something with your life. All right, let me ask you another question. Okay, give me a fun fact about you.
A fun fact about me, I am very competitive.
Okay.
And my competitiveness put me in a funny situation I want to share. When I was in my late 20s, I got a call to do the Pennsylvania Mile to run for literacy for the children. I was like, oh, sure, for the children, I'd do it. So in my mind, I envisioned a large group running, gun sounding, we all run at the same time. But no, they, uh, they put us in sections according to your age bracket. And so, I'm a basketball player, so I'm used
Okay.
to short sprints, but not, long distance running. But
Right.
I knew I could run a mile. And when I got with my group and I saw what they had on, and I knew I was in trouble. They had on track shorts,
Mhm.
track shoes, track shirt, and I got on basketball shorts and a t-shirt.
No.
And so what made me feel a little bit better was they was like, oh, we're gonna take it easy today. But what I learned, their take it easy and my take it easy is
It's
two
totally
totally
different.
different. And when the gun sounded, they went into a sprint. My competitiveness kicked in and I tried to keep up. And I kept up with them for a little while.
Right.
But eventually I ran out of gas. And, but I finished the race. But
Mhm.
I was so far in last place
Mhm.
that they thought I was in first place for the
For the
next
next
race. And so then I was, here he comes, ain't got no winner. They was like, no,
No, he started laughing.
So I was like,
I'm like, yes, he's
I was
the
like, they set me up, and I was humbled that day.
right,
I was
right.
like,
Basketball is totally different than racing.
totally different.
Wow. But I would have said number one. But that would have been lying. So we said we'll keep it gospel. Wow, that's a good story. Did you have high tops on too?
No, I had on regular shoes, but I
Uh-huh.
mean, again, when they sprinting and they used to this, I
Mhm.
actually finished. I think it was like what was it, 11 minutes? You
Okay.
know, I mean, for me, I thought that was pretty good.
Yeah, right for a mile, right. And you ain't did it before.
Right.
Wow. Well, it was for a good cause though,
It
right?
was a great cause, and
Yeah.
of course they took pictures, and it was a real big thing. So it was nice, man. It
Okay.
was for the kids.
Yeah, ain't nothing wrong for the kids, for the kids, for the kids. Well, let's get into it. So listen, 1993, right? I just given my life to Jesus Christ. So this is good for me. I give my life to Jesus Christ. But before I gave my life to Jesus Christ, I was a go-go head. I was at Northeast Grooves. I was at the Met. I was at the Ibex and back. I was doing all those things. But when I gave my life to Jesus, a lot of the time that was filled with go-go was now like, okay, I got to pray again. You know what I mean? Okay, I done read so many scriptures. Now what I supposed to do? You know what I mean? What do you listen to? I think back then they didn't really have rap. I think we had gospel gangsters. That's the only rap we really had. You know what I mean? Really. So I'm like, okay, God, I like music. I like go-go, but I know I done gave my life to Jesus. I'm sanctified now. So my group said, "Hey, they're doing something at my local church, which is in Montgomery County." I said, "Why don't you come up and there's this band supposed to be?" I said, "A band?" So like 3 of my friends went up there, and we came in to listen. I said, "This." We was outside. I said, "That sounds like go-go coming from church. That can't be real." And when we came in, first band I saw was your band. And I saw you after. I was like, wow. And literally was like an aha moment for me. You know what I mean? That wow, you can love God, serve God, but also still have a familiar sound that I grew up on. You know what I mean? I'm 52. I mean, so go-go's only 50 years. So from 2 years old until I said, I can do this. And then I mean, people, he said, lift your hands. We can lift our hands, and literally from 93 until now, it literally illuminated me. So I personally want to say thank you for whatever y'all did. We're going to talk about it, you know what I mean, for stepping out there and doing gospel go-go at the time. And then literally decades later, it's still going on till this day. So
That's
that's
amazing.
good. So we want to talk about that. So take me back, the beginning of Josh's generation. Take me back.
Well, it started with me, Neldon, and Ray,
Okay.
teenagers, best friends,
Mm-hmm.
raised in the church. And like yourself, we love go-go.
Mm-hmm.
And we would listen to go-go. And
Right.
we we didn't go to the go-go's at that point. We was 15,
Right.
and Ray was 16. And but we would listen to it. We had the PA tapes, and even me, when we get a tape, I would go to school with sell tapes,
Mm-hmm.
$5,
Oh wow, you
back
was
in the day.
on the
That's
tapes.
how much I love
Right,
go-go,
right.
right? And then in the youth service, they said that they was doing a talent show.
Okay.
And we was like, "Oh, man, we gotta do something for the talent show." We had no idea what we was gonna do, and we sitting around our little crew, and we think like, "What we gonna do?" And then we was like, "Yo, let's do gospel go-go."
Wow.
And we was like, "Yeah." Now, we didn't know what we was gonna perform,
Right.
and that was on a Friday night, and then that Saturday, went home. God woke me up at 4 o'clock in the morning.
Wow.
Get a pen, get a pad, and I wrote literally my first song, and I went it was called the Jesus Christ Lovers in the House,
Okay.
and I went to the guys that Sunday, I got a song, and we just built off of there. Neldon's father played bass for the church, and Neldon borrowed his father's bass.
Okay.
My boy, Bruce, he played drums. I think Jerry was on the congas, Ray on the front line with Clayton and myself, and I just bust this rap out, man.
Wow.
And first time I had ever grabbed the mic or anything like that, and it went over well, and we came in 2nd place, and we
At
lost
least you didn't
to
come in last place,
I
like
mean,
racing.
hey, but we lost to these keyboard players, and the visionaries that we were, we signed the keyboard player up to be a part of the band.
Yep.
And then that's how we really kicked off. And then from there, we was like, well, we want to do this thing,
Mhm.
And at the time, he was really into being a DJ.
Okay.
I mean, he had put his money, saved his money. He had his turntables.
Mhm.
He was going to be the next mixologist.
Mhm.
And what really kicked it off when we knew that this is it. Ray turned those turntables in, traded them in for some congos at Chuck Levin's, gave the congos to Neldon and said, "You take these home and practice." And we began our journey of practicing.
Wow.
And then of course, raised in the church,
Mhm.
we was always taught to write the vision and make it plain. And
Yes.
so we wrote our vision down on what we wanted to do.
Mhm.
We scheduled a meeting with the youth leadership, which was about 12 leaders at the time,
Okay.
and we presented our vision. And some laughed at us,
Mhm.
some said it couldn't be done,
Wow.
and we walked out of there like, man, we was disappointed, a little hurt, but it was what we needed.
Yeah.
It put that fire in us, that little chip on our shoulder, so to
Mhm.
speak, and it motivated us, and it was like, "Yo, let's practice, let's do this."
Wow.
And then the church was very accommodating. They gave us a space on Saturdays to practice. Then they started donating older equipment, microphones, and we would just practice, and they didn't know what to do with us. And then
Right.
finally, there was a harvest festival, the alternative to Halloween,
Mm.
and they said we could play. And so we on Rhode Island Avenue in the church annex. We all excited. It's the first time, we playing. We've been practicing. We
Mhm.
ready, and we playing, and a fight break out. The
Wow. While
a
y'all
fight
playing.
while we playing, a fight break out. So we had to cut our segment short. And again, they had no idea what to do with
Yeah.
us because it
Yeah.
was like, it had never been done before.
Yeah.
And so from there, we kept practicing. We was committed And then finally they linked us up with who's now Pastor Charles Whitaker, the River of
Yes.
Life.
Mhm.
Back then he was the outreach minister,
Okay.
and he would go in all over the city and do these crusades.
Mhm.
And so we linked up with him, and he was like, "Y'all play, draw the crowd, and then
Mhm.
I'll come up and preach."
Wow.
And we did that, and we would play, and we would draw the crowd, and he would preach and give the altar call and all of that, and we would do that. I mean, I remember we played Berry Farms, Potomac Gardens, DuPont Circle on the corner of the MLK. I mean, we did the outreach thing.
Mhm.
And I never forget when we did Berry Farms, it was the first time someone had actually recorded us like,
Okay.
and so we had our first tape. And Ray back then had this car. He had the booming system, had the big subwoofers and all that. We put that tape in there, man. We was boosted, mistakes and all, but we
Right.
loved it,
We
you know.
here. We here for it.
Yeah, we played that thing over and over again, and we continued with Minister. And then finally, we reached a point where we was like, you know what? We wanted more. Our vision was to really change gospel, to add a new genre to gospel.
Mhm.
And so even though we was getting recognition during the outreach, it wasn't enough for us.
Mhm.
And so we told Pastor Charles we want to do our thing, but we believed in covering.
Yeah.
And I sent you a picture.
Yes.
And one of the persons that's not included in that picture that should have been was Rosalind Myers, who was
Okay.
our manager.
Oh, wow.
And
Yes.
and she said she took us under our wing, and one thing about our parents, all of our parents was very supportive of us.
Okay.
And man, from there, like I say, we graduated, we opened up a bank account, me, Nell, and Ray putting money,
Mhm.
we knew we was committed because we just throwing money
But
in the
it
account
right.
and just buying new equipment, the whole nine. And then next thing you know, I never forget, one of our singers, Bina, her father owned the comedy club in Greenbelt.
Okay.
And so they had on one of their slow nights, we was able to convince them to let us play there on Thursday nights.
Okay.
And so me, Nelton, and Ray worked in a print shop. So we made flyers and we would go to churches and we would just hit y'all cars
They
everywhere we would go.
Mhm.
Joshua Generation, First Gospel Go-Go. And
Wow.
we kept doing that. And then so when they would let us play at the comedy club, we had a little bit of a problem
Okay.
because we're a Christian group.
Yeah.
The comedians not Christian at
Not
all.
at all. They letting you have it, right.
And then they doing their thing. But what happened was they saw the passion.
Yeah.
And so much so that one comedian in particular, Chris Thomas,
Okay.
excellent comedian,
Mhm.
he came, he said, "I'm not gonna cuss tonight. I know it's y'all Joshua generation in the house, I'm not gonna cuss."
Wow.
And he did his whole segment, not cut, and he was hilarious.
Wow.
And we did that, and then, at that point, we still hadn't really, we had some momentum, but hadn't really taken off yet. And it wasn't until, we went back at our home church evangel and Fred Hammond was performing. And I think we opened for Fred or maybe once, but this particular time when we was there, he had a rap group called Transformation Crusade.
Okay.
And they was doing a little mini tour and they wanted Joshua Generation to go along on this little tour. And so we was like, great. So it was like, I think it was like 4 or 5 different venues. And the last one was going to be back at our home church evangel.
Okay.
And so we was great. We opening for them. And I think we opened for them probably for like 2 shows. And then they asked us, can we go first? Because we allowed band young energy and they was not that.
Right.
And they realized that it's
Mhm.
very difficult to come behind a
Behind.
live band.
Mhm.
And so they would have us close. And then, during that time period, there was a shift going on. And next thing you know, we reached the last show at Evangel. And by then things had changed. And we went to our leadership and said, hey, you gotta let us go last. Oh no, we got friends group, they gonna go. And we was like, well, wait, you gotta let us go last. You don't understand.
Mhm.
And of course they didn't get it yet. And so they had us go first.
Mhm.
And we had well over 1,000 kids. It was like
Wow.
1,200 kids there. JG played and we did our thing. And when we finished, almost everybody left.
Wow.
And that's when
So
they
y'all
knew.
took the party with you.
We took the party with us.
Yep.
That's where they knew. And then, that's really how JG got going. And then we just rolled after that. I
Mhm.
mean, I don't want to give you too much with one question, but
No, that was I mean, that I answered a lot of questions. So let me ask this. What year did you start and what year did you end?
We started, for us, 1987 is when
Okay.
we started. When did we end? See, the thing about bands, and you've been in a band before,
Mhm.
one thing I say about Josh's generation, we've had a lot of members in Josh's
Mhm. Same here.
over the years. A lot come, a lot
You
of them
go.
go.
Yep.
I think I don't remember the exact year, but I think at the time I was probably around like 24.
Okay.
And man, I started like 15. So
Right.
I had reached that point where, you know, slowly but surely, when Neldon left was one of the ones to leave first.
Mhm.
Then Ray left, Ray right hand,
Yeah.
he
Yeah.
left. And then it was me and Sean and
Okay.
Chuck, and we held it down, but it just wasn't the same without
Mhm.
them. One, and then two, life. We all had different goals and different things that we wanted to do in life,
Mhm.
and we had to grow into those things. And it wasn't, the funny thing, I met with the guys, and never forget the last day. We had a show that next Saturday that was gonna literally down somewhere on the mall. It was a big show. I think it
Mhm.
was with Richard Small with some other gospel singers, and they was
Okay.
gonna have us, do one of the openings like they do. And I was like, "Fellas, this it. We didn't even do the show."
Wow.
And it was that time
Mhm.
for us to move on to that next season.
Ye
And we felt like we had accomplished everything that we set out to accomplish and then some. And here's something I'm gonna tell you that you probably didn't know. One of the things that made it easy to walk away
Mhm.
was Exodus.
Wow.
It was because we knew that it was gonna continue. And y'all was out doing
Wow.
y'all thing, and we was
Yes.
like, "Man, we got another gospel go-go band." And there was, we had done stuff with Gideon.
Mhm.
Gideon used to open for us, another group called A&T. They did their
Mhm.
thing, but they wasn't quite go-go per se.
Exactly.
We was 100% go-go,
Mhm.
100%.
Same here.
And so having y'all come on the scene,
Hold
it
on, hold
made
on,
it
hold on.
easier to walk away.
Don't make me cry on
Nah,
my
I ain't
own
gonna make you
podcast
cry,
then.
man. Hey, man,
Don't
look.
do that to me.
Look, God is does unique things,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
from remember I mentioned the time y'all came to a practice.
Mhm.
Little did we know we talk about our shared niece
Mhm.
and nephew,
Yes.
and
Yes.
you never know where life is going to take you in this
Yep.
journey. And for us with Joshua Generation, we didn't know that so many years later that it'll be this many groups. We were
Yes.
satisfied with you all.
Mhm.
And then, that's some more I say, but I want any more questions for me. What do you
No,
have?
that was a lot. That was good. I mean, because you gave your mission. You know what I mean? Y'all started a genre that wasn't there. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And for us, the other mission that you did was you poured seed in us.
Mm.
Us watching you guys. I said, look at that break. Look at that. I mean, we were studying y'all. You know what I mean? Like, look at how they coming out of that joint. You said, and we would go back and just talk about it. They would just, so for us, it was like I never saw that, but it was like honestly, well, I'm about to be real spiritual now. It seemed like the earth was void for us. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Then we saw something like, oh my God, we can come to life. We can do this. So a straight go, straight, and then the punch. I said, where did they get this system from? Because at this time, again, you started, you said, what year again?
1987.
87. So y'all was seasoned by at 93. You know
Oh,
what I mean?
yeah. Oh,
So
yeah.
y'all was in it. I mean, in and out, boom, boom. So we're like this. What in the world? So we began to study. So for me, I feel like you guys was it would be no Exodus if it wasn't for Josh's generation. And we practiced. We going to people's basements, people's houses.
Yeah.
So everything you said was kind of familiar with even with Exodus band for us. Even with us when we started, a lot of people first like, "What are y'all doing?" You know what I mean? What kind of Why y'all making this noise? But we kept building, and our whole goal was, okay, how can we take this genre of music to levels like never before? Then we started getting on the radio. We started doing, you know what I mean? But the mindset was, okay, let's push it.
Mhm.
And I did the same thing. I did 10 years.
Mhm.
93 to 2003.
Right.
You know what I mean? Then from so it was that's a lot. Let me see what else I got because you done excited me now. What other? So where did y'all get the name Joshua Generation from?
We was again teenagers. We sitting in the youth on one of the youth services. We had
Hmm.
a guest speaker. I believe it was Tom Skinner. I believe that's his name. and he preached on the Joshua generation.
Wow.
And he was saying, man, the Joshua generation is a generation of young people that were radical. They took over territory that had never
Mhm.
been occupied or taken before. And, they believed in taking the violent, taking and taking it by force. And we looked at each other and was like, yo, that's us. That's us.
Wow.
And from hearing his preaching, we was so motivated. And we was like, the name of our group is going to be Joshua Generation.
Ooh.
And that's where it came from. And then as we later, I mean, we played so many places that I literally can't remember. And to give you a perspective, we had a show on Friday night,
Mhm.
2 shows on Saturday, a show on Sunday, and this continued for years upon
Mhm.
years.
Mm.
And we had, we would do Georgia Avenue Day, A Street Day. We would do the Black Family Reunion, Martin
Mhm.
Luther King holiday. We would do the Caribbean Festival in Baltimore. We played on the mall on the 4th of July every year, people as far as the eye can see. And we did that for years, and then
Mhm.
that's not even including all the churches.
Ye
And we even did weddings, we
Mhm.
had this lady, she was so, "Please come to my wedding." We was like, "Man, let's go do the wedding."
Yeah,
We
let's
went
do it. Wow.
and, but as you know, when you dealing with different churches,
Mhm.
everyone's capability and is different,
Yes,
and everyone's expectation
it's different.
is different.
Mhm.
And so when they would say, "Hey, we got a youth extravaganza,"
Mhm.
well, that means something different to everybody.
Yeah, yeah,
And
right.
so we had some that was amazing,
Mhm.
packed, and we had some small churches,
Mhm.
but we treated them all the same.
Mhm.
And our mindset was like, even though we was like, there times we would be disappointed because
Right.
it's like, man, this is not as big as they said
Mhm.
it was going to be. But it was like in our mind that, it's people here that came to see us.
Mhm.
And then some of them may be seeing us for the first time. And
Right.
then two, it was like, hey, this is also like a practice for us too.
Yep,
So,
yep.
you
If we
know,
make mistakes, nobody gonna know.
let's go.
Right,
And so we would try to treat them all the same. And one thing that Ray would say all the time is that we giving the people what they want to hear, but
right.
we giving them what they need to hear.
Yes,
And
wow.
that was a part of it. And man, we had a great time, a
Yeah,
grand time, you
yeah.
know.
You guys paved the way for us. Everything you said, a lot of places that you played at, we played at, even on the mall. We did the mall like 6 years
There you
straight,
go.
and literally thousands of people
There you
outside. People
go.
for 4th of July. My wife, well, I was married at the time. My wife was like, "We going to the mall again? We got to."
Got to.
So we've done. I mean, we opened up for John P. Key. We've
Mhm.
opened up for so many people. I mean, Howard University. We did. Did you do a lot of universities?
We did, God, we went to one in I think it was out in Salisbury,
Okay.
but we didn't do as many universities as we did churches, but we
Okay.
did, I mean, we play, and another thing that we did too, you mentioned the regular go-go bands.
Mm-hmm.
We would wear our JG shirts and go see Northeast Groovers,
Wow.
and
Okay.
they would put us on
Hey.
JGs in the house,
Mm-hmm.
and, then, we started, playing with some of the regular go-go
Mm,
bands,
wow.
and, that's when we would say, "Hey, JG band in the house,"
Yep.
and that was fun, and that was
Mhm,
different. I remember at the convention center, we played, we
mhm.
opened for EU, and it was like, and it was our crowd,
Yeah.
and so our crowd gave us our love. So I ain't saying,
Right,
it is what it is, but
right.
we JG tore it up, and it
Wow.
was fun, and, so we done a lot of stuff like that. I mean, again, we played at so many places, bro. I can't even. I mean, I would need them here to help. We would remind each
Right.
other of it. I remember one time we had, one of my songs was really hot in Richmond, and so they wanted us to come and perform. We chartered a bus, went down there, and we went into this auditorium doing our sound check. It was a nice big auditorium balcony. Wasn't nobody there.
Mhm,
We like, hey, whatever. Well, we're gonna go take y'all go get something to eat.
mhm.
So then they brought us back through the back alley, from the alley straight to the stage, place packed to capacity.
Wow.
We was like, wow. And we hit it. We did our thing. And
Let's
then,
do 3 sticks.
yeah, and then even taking us all the way out to Virginia to a crowd that didn't look like us. And we playing and they didn't even know what to do. We wanted to have a herd
Okay, right.
go. And they started this little train and they
Mhm.
holding on each other, going around like this. And that prompted engine
Engine
number
number
9 or
order
JG
the
transit line. And next thing you know,
Mm,
so we had a good time and we would
wow.
use different things that we encountered to, and incorporate it in what we
Mhm.
do.
That is so I mean, you just understand, I love this history. This means a lot to me. A lot of things is parallel what we did. Same things, it's just but What is one of the moments that was impactful for you?
Wow. For me, I mean, I think one of the things I wrote a lot of songs along with a lot of my brothers in the band, you know, Neldon Ray, me, Brandon, we all wrote and so forth. One of the songs I wrote was God Bless the Youth.
Okay.
And at the time, I was working at Evangel doing security, and they gave me the late night shift.
Oh, wow,
I
okay.
mean, the early morning shift. So I'm doing security, and it's probably like 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, and I'm in the office, and I hear this knock at the door. Mind you, if you I don't know if you ever been to Evangel, it is not a lot of light out there.
Right.
And I look and I see this little kid,
Wow.
and I'm like, "What is this kid doing out here?" And he had a little suitcase. And mind you, this is wintertime. It was cold.
Yeah.
And I was like, "Hey, you gotta go. You can't stay here." Holy Spirit said, "Let that boy in." And I let him in and, you know, took him in the office to get warmed up and, you know, try to get him to talk to me. And he wouldn't talk to me. And then I told him, I said, "You know, I'm in this group, you know, I got him at Gospel Go Band."
Mm,
And, you know, he looked at me strange. I was like, I didn't even know if he knew what that
mhm,
was. And then, yeah, I said, "Well, I'm gonna do a little rap." I said, one day a friend told me that he couldn't hold on so many problems in his life. He never wished he was born. I said, now what was I to do? I didn't make a move until the Spirit said to. I told him Jesus died for all of our sins. And then I did this whole rap. And then he opened up and he started talking to me. And I'm talking to this little kid. And then the Holy Spirit said, those lyrics was for that little boy. And I'm saying to myself, like, wow, I'm blown away.
yeah,
And so, you know, I got him to talk to me, and he told me about the situation at home wasn't a good situation.
mhm,
And you know, obviously I had to call the authorities, call the police, and they came, picked them up, and they said, you know, they would take care of the situation. But, you know, that was a moment where, you know, because like say there's a lot we do. One of the things about JG was like we wanted to have fun.
mhm,
That was a part of our mission, not
mhm,
only to change the genre, but to have fun doing what we do.
right,
But also in that, God puts you in situations where you see that it's not just you having fun.
yep,
It's not just you starting a genre. This is touching lives,
exactly,
and you never know.
yep, and one thing I love about Gospel Go-Go, it was a ministry.
Mhm,
I mean, ministry first.
mhm.
I give you a story, then move forward. I remember we played a 4th of July, and we played thousands of people, like, "Oh my god." 3 years later, this guy ran up to me. I was at another go-go supporting another go-go band. I had stopped playing by this time. And guy ran up to me. I was like, "Whoa, what? Hey, hey." You know what I mean? When somebody run up on you, like, "Wait a minute." Ran up, he said, "You don't know who I am. I know you don't know who I am." He said, literally, it was a 4th of July. He gave the year to 4th of July. I was homeless, picking trash out the trash can. And I heard you playing encouraging, because what I would do is I don't really rap. I can't sing. I was the encourager. I think that's why I became pastor. You know
Right,
what I mean?
right.
And I was encouraging them over the socket and encouraging them. "You can live. There's so much life for you." Da, da. He said, "That day, you gave me life."
Mm,
And he said, and literally ran to me, said, and literally said, the next day, I got off the street. I got my cleaned up. I got off drugs. I found my wife. And now here's my 2-year-old child. Brought his 2-year-old child to me. He said, "You changed my life. You don't even know. I remember your face. I remember your voice. I want to thank you for doing that." And that, just like you gave your testimony, that's just like Gospel Go-Go wasn't just it was about having fun. We had fun.
yeah.
We
Oh yeah.
had fun. We made sure we was laughing, joking,
Mhm.
everything. We said, "You see that Batman on the stage? You know, look at that girl there." You know what I mean? But one thing it kept us centered was the ministry part of it. And
That's
then the opportunity we had, not only on the stage, but off the stage. And people, I think that's what people don't realize. A lot of times, even as pastors, as the preacher, I've been around, I've seen a lot in the past 30 years. But one thing I realized, when you minister on stage, but then also be the ministry off stage,
absolutely.
and you on that child right now probably life changed just for you open that door.
I will hope so. I pray so.
Watch when you get to heaven, he gonna be running to you, running to you. So listen, thank you so much for your time. I have one more question for you.
Okay.
You helped pave a way for, I want to say, almost probably like 50 bands. 50 to 100 bands. There's a lot of bands out there.
Mhm.
There's a lot of bands still coming. There's a lot of bands that are playing now, and a lot of bands are forming even as we speak. What would you say to them as an originator? What would you say to those people now that are getting started or in the game already? What would you say to them?
Well, you know, I would say one, always put Christ first. I
Mhm.
mean, that is the whole purpose of the gospel go-go is to get the message of Jesus out. Build good chemistry as a band,
Mm.
be creative as a band,
Mhm.
have fun, do things that perhaps hasn't been done. Definitely, when you got a group, you got to know that everybody has different ideas and concepts.
Mhm.
And one of the things that I say about JG, I think that made us different than almost all bands is that we had 3 female singers,
Wow.
and them girls could sing.
Mhm.
You know, Jocelyn, Joy, and Bina, he put it down, and that really, I think, made us different from a lot of people. And then, we never would like take someone's idea and be like, nah, that's a bad idea.
Mm.
Like, I give you one example. Sean had this idea, Sugarfoot, our drummer.
Mm.
He had this idea. He wanted a rock intro. I said, "Bro, we are not a rock band. We a go-go band."
Right.
And Sean was like, "No, no, I think it's gonna be great." And he
Mhm.
goes, "So we do this intro." And mind you, at this point, we still relatively new. People will come and see us for the first time. They hear it's a gospel go-go band. And we start out dang that dang that dang that. And we looking at the faces me and Ray is like, wait till this beat drop.
Mhm.
And
They
then
not ready.
yeah, and then it go da 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 da. That drum roll come and we drop that pocket and they go crazy. I
Right.
mean, so having fun, being creative, making sure that, no idea is a bad idea
Right.
until it's a bad
I
idea.
did. We won't do that
Right.
again.
But I mean, but love what you do. I mean, the time, believe it or not, is short. Most bands are not gonna do it forever,
Yeah.
but while you do it, love what you do, give it 100%, and, make sure that you own your business aspect of it too,
Mhm.
we ain't get time to talk on that, but,
Mhm. We
um,
talk on it. We got time. Talk on the business part 'cause that's
oh,
very big.
it's big, and the thing for us, I mean, look, I believe this, and you probably gonna say the same thing.
Mhm.
The bands today, in my personal opinion,
Mhm.
y'all got it a little bit better than we did
Yeah.
because y'all got social media, it's a major outlet.
We didn't have
We
that.
didn't have that. We were
Mhm.
100% word of mouth.
Mhm.
And we did, we had some radio. We was on the radio. We was
Mhm.
on TV. We actually performed on TV,
Oh,
Channel
wow.
9,
Okay.
yeah. I mean, so we had, those type of things, but
Mhm.
those were rare, we wasn't
Mhm.
paying to be on the radio every week.
Exactly.
We had the JG hotline and all of
And that's
that.
what we did. We had a hotline, XB hotline. Hey,
Exactly.
we gonna play here today.
But I mean, and the thing about being in the church environment, a lot of times every church will want you, but they don't always want to pay your worth.
At all. Yep.
And so you got to be able to have that business savvy to say,
Yeah.
you got to know when to say no and you got to know when to say yes. And one of the things about us, because we were so new, so young, we didn't want to say no. We didn't want
Mhm.
to turn down a
Mhm.
lot of shows, but there were times when they couldn't afford us, but they
Yeah.
only couldn't afford us through a tape and me and
Mhm.
Ray going without the band.
Yeah. Wow.
And we would do that, and we did it probably like 3 times, and the
Okay.
last time we was like, "Look, do not
It's not gonna
believe it,
work.
like, it's not
Right.
gonna work.
Right.
It's not the same for us."
Yeah. Yeah.
And so but at the same time, churches, be able to work with them, but have your standard, get your portfolio out,
Mhm.
get whatever your business model plan is, get that out,
A
submit it.
contract.
Yeah, your contract. I mean, I'm sure they're
Mhm.
doing contracts
Mm.
now. And then for us, we was blessed because we had the premier sound man, Rio, that
Yes.
did all the go-go bands, and he gave us a serious discount because he loved what we was doing. He
Good.
had never
Good.
seen that. He was like, "Man, y'all positive, man. I like
Yep.
this, man."
Our first, just a good fact. Our first CD that we ever did in
Mhm.
the studio was at Rio
Real
Studio,
steel. Yeah.
and he put work in. We was like, we were so good. Oh my God, we in the studio, Rio Studio. We heard about the sound. I heard the system, but in the studio with it, second to none.
Yeah.
Second to none.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Second to none.
And that's the same with Rio.
Mhm.
And then I think, I can't say for sure, but I like to believe we influenced the great legendary Chuck Brown when he did his little
That
gospel
can't
thing. Yeah. Yeah.
nobody. Yeah, I guarantee you did.
Yeah,
Guarantee.
so, and props to him and his family for,
Yeah.
the pioneer go-go. But,
Yes.
but I would say that, I mean, it's gonna be some good times, it's gonna be
Mhm.
some bad times,
Mhm.
and you gotta be able to endure them all. But if you know what your mission is and if you know what you're about, you'll be successful. So,
Wow. That's the last word right there. I appreciate this. You don't understand. This means big to me. I told you our niece earlier. I said, I'm nervous. I can't believe I'm nervous because you has made a big impact on my life. And I believe where I am today is because of those years of Gospel Go-Go from the 93 to 2003. So for me, it's an honor. It's a privilege. I want to say thank you for taking your time out being here. I thank you for, giving the stories. I got some, I'm off air. I might add some more stories. But thank you so much. I
thank you
appreciate
for
it.
having me and thank you for the opportunity to share the JG story.
Well, I'm glad you was able to do that. Listen, this has been I Feel Like Talking podcast with your host, Damon. I'm about to say Pastor Damon, D-Rock, whatever you want to call me. Thank you so much. Make sure you look out for me on YouTube, on Facebook. Until next time, you be blessed just like I am. Love you.